Welcome everybody to the LingQ live stream challenge. My name's Eric, and I have been working at LingQ for about a year and a half. Oh no, 2 years now. Just a bit of backstory, just so I can give you guys some more information. I lived in Japan for about a couple years, almost 3 years actually. And during that time, the irony is I never really actually studied Japanese. But when I came back to Canada and joined LingQ, I wanted to see if I could actually learn a language, because like some people here, I've never actually learned a second language. I tried learning Spanish and French in school, and that didn't really do much. And in Japan, I didn't really study Japanese, but when I joined LingQ, I have made a conscious effort to study Japanese. And one of the main differences, or one of the main reasons that I think I've been able to learn Japanese and continue to study is motivation. Steve says that motivation is one of the key aspects for learning a language, anything really. And being motivated has helped me to constantly learn, constantly practice. And what drives me to learn a language is being able to speak to others. So I have a lot of Japanese friends that I want to speak to. And also repetition and doing, trying to immerse myself every day, whether it's an hour or 2 hours. I work full time, so I don't have the opportunity to spend 8 hours a day learning Japanese, but that's okay. I still made a lot of progress. And motivation, being able to notice the language and constantly, enjoying the content. So that's the one thing that LingQ does really well. I've been, you'll see on my LingQ account what I've been using as content. So let me just try and share my screen again. So I hope right now someone's waiting to join. I'll see if I can invite them after, but anyways, I'm gonna share my screen and I hope everyone can hear me okay. Apologies, I'm at a cafe today. So let's get on to it, shall we? All right, so. And once again, apologies. Sometimes there's going to be coffee in the background. Okay, so this is my LingQ screen. I hope everyone can see this. This is my Japanese LingQ. And as you can see here, this is the library. And on the library tab, for those who don't know, you can go through content that other users are reading and going through. And you can see the import button, which you can turn into a lesson and put it into your own lesson feed. I personally, what I do is, well, when I first started using LingQ, I went through the mini stories. And if you're just starting to use LingQ, I recommend using the mini stories. Now, mini stories are, there's about 60 lessons, audio, and there's dialogue, and they're recorded by native speakers, and they use common vocabulary. So most languages on LingQ will have the mini stories. To get to the mini stories, you can go to the guided courses tab here. And you can see the beginner 1, beginner 2, intermediate, and advanced. If you go to beginner 2, I believe, there you go. So these are the mini stories, and I'm just gonna open them in Japanese. And as you can see, as I scroll down here, there is over 50 mini stories. And this is what Steve recommends. Some people, of course, they might not be something they're interested in, which is fine. But if you want to get your feet wet, let's just say, in the language, you can definitely look into these. I recommend doing the mini stories. I did most of them when I started learning Japanese. So there's also, I would like to tell you that there's also other content that LingQ's created. So this is content that LingQ's put into the platform themselves. And you can see here, this is all beginner, great beginner stuff. You got patterns, you got stories written by tutors, all kinds of great content for beginners. Of course, you have beginner 1, which is the very early stage content as well. So this is what I went through when I was first using LingQ, and I recommend everyone who's new to the language to check out the beginner 1 and 2 guided courses, and there you can check out this content. All right, so let me just quickly go back to one sec here. I'm gonna unshare my screen. Oh, maybe I can. Okay. Sorry, I'm just inviting more people here. Just gonna talk 1 sec, please. All right. Okay. Okay, so that's the mini stories. That's the beginner content. Sorry, 1 sec here. I got some notifications here. Let me see if I can go through the chat here. Apologies once again, everyone. There's supposed to be 2 of us doing this. Unfortunately, Shelby's Wi-Fi is shut down. Okay, so we got some questions in the chat. Thank you for the encouragement, Jane. Explain blue and yellow squares. Okay, perfect. So Yusuf, I hope I said that correct, is correct. Blue words are unknown, meaning you've never seen them before in the LingQ app. When you look them up, they'll turn into yellow. And I'm gonna show you exactly, I'll just quickly go over what I mean by that. See if I have any blue words here. Okay. So here is a blue word, and that indicates that I've never seen this word ever in LingQ. So what I'll do here is I'll click it. Now I have the definition. Okay, so kansho means sentiment. I will just click a definition I like. I have multiple ones I can choose. Once I do that, it becomes yellow. Once I see this word enough times, I'll eventually understand it. That's how language learning and acquisition works. You just have to see it many, many times. Once I see this word, let's say 100 times, and I understand the reading and the pronunciation, I will go to here and I will click known, which means I know the word. And there you go. Now the word is known. There's the white background, and it also adds to my total word count. So as you can see here, I have 9,370. If I were to go back and let's say I wanted to make it yellow again, this would go down. You can't make a word blue again. Let's just say, I know some people have questions about that, but you cannot make a word blue again, only yellow. Okay, let me just go back here. Okay, so moving on. I've gone through the beginner stuff, and I really wanted to show you today how I use LingQ. I've made a bunch of videos on YouTube, which you can view on LingQ's YouTube channel. LingQ has a YouTube channel where me and Jareen and a few other LingQ members make tutorials. But today I'm going to quickly go over a short rundown of how I use LingQ. So as I mentioned before, I like to use content I enjoy. So this is my lessons. So my lessons are comprised of a variety of different videos, content in Japanese. So what I do is I import all this content into LingQ. LingQ's best feature, in my opinion, is the import extension. The import extension allows you to import content from YouTube, from Netflix, from blogs, from news websites into LingQ and create your own lessons. Now, to get the LingQ extension, you just have to, you can Google LingQ extension, or you can go here, get the LingQ import extension for Chrome, Safari, or Firefox. And you will see up here, I have it installed. And this is the kind of content I have been importing. You can see there's dramas. I got news articles. I got anime. I got tons of stuff. anything you can imagine. These are YouTube videos. So let me just quickly show you what I mean by that. Okay. So when I'm studying Japanese, I have a bit of an outline, and I have about 4 or 5 resources that I use constantly. And these are all resources that are written, spoken in Japanese. I'm going to show you a few of those. So I have a blog I really enjoy. There's a lot of articles here in Japanese. I have a news website I enjoy. And I have YouTube videos. And I'm going to show you quickly how I import those into LingQ, and I create interactive lessons to help me study. Okay, so I will open let's just go for a new one. Okay, here you go. So this is an article, and I don't want to read it on this website for several reasons, mainly because I can't look up words. I can't turn this, what's called hiragana, off. It's really annoying. So I can just put it into LingQ, and it makes a cleaner and more readable lesson. So all I do is I just click on the import extension. And sorry, it's just taking some time here. And before I click import, I just go to import to. So I have created a course already. And to do this, it's pretty straightforward, but all you have to do is click new course. Anyways, I've created a course for this. I called it Matcha because the site's called Matcha. And I click import. Now today, I just want to let everyone know that, okay, never mind, it worked. Okay, so I just click open. And I just wait a little bit, and boom, there we go. So now the entire lesson is, let me just turn off some of the settings. So before I quickly go through all this, you can click on this gear tab, and you can customize your reader. So I'm just going to add a few things I enjoy, but I highly recommend everyone going through this just to see what they can customize. And before I do that, I can make the size bigger. All right, and I can hit sentence mode to make it a little bit easier to read. And I can go through this entire article on LingQ. And it's a lot easier for me to read and look up the words, as you can see. And I can have the text to speech. I can use this speaker icon to listen to the whole sentence. It's just a lot more convenient this way. So that's one example of how I import content into LingQ. And I want to show you one more feature that is amazing that LingQ has. It's importing YouTube videos. So here's a YouTube video, for example. Oh, yes?
Sorry, Eric. Yeah, your screen is frozen.
Oh, it is frozen. Okay, 1 sec here. Can anyone else see my screen? Is my screen okay for anyone else? I'm just wondering.
Can see your screen.
Sorry, 1 sec here. One sec, everyone. Okay, 1 sec here. I'm gonna bring. Okay, so Mark is the host now. Okay, great. So let me try this again. All right, so can everyone see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Apologies for that. All right, so going back to what I was saying about importing content into LingQ, I'm going to quickly show you how I import YouTube videos. I just showed, for those, hopefully you saw, I just showed you how you can import the articles and blogs into LingQ. Now I'm going to show you how you can use YouTube and to import YouTube content into LingQ. So in my case, I'm studying Japanese. I'm going to, I've opened a channel I enjoy. And as you can see here, now there's two important things that you need to know about importing YouTube into LingQ. One is the videos have to have closed captioning. So closed captions are these right here, you can see. And I prefer them to be not auto-generated. And you can see here, it would say auto-generated Japanese, but in this case, Sayuri has put her own into her own closed captions, which means there's no mistakes. When it's auto-generated, you might have some mistakes. So this is a perfect example of a YouTube channel that can be imported into LingQ. And once again, all I have to do is go to the extension. All right, and I'm just going to choose her course that I created. And once again, if you didn't see how to create courses, all you do is click on the new course, and you can type in the course. So I would call this Sayuri Singh, for example, but I've done that already. So let me just pick it here. All right, and I just click import. Just give it a few seconds. And I click open.
Eric, we have a question, by the way, a question from Jacob, sorry to interrupt, asking if we know of a way to search for YouTube videos that have man-made captions as opposed to auto-generated.
Yes, there's a site. I can't think of it at the top of my head, but there is a website online that does have a list and directory of videos with closed captions. Also, if you go to link.com and you go to, actually, I can just do this here. Go to the forum, and here, the best language sites and content to import into LingQ. So you click that, and you click here, LingQ content resource list. Open this, and there's a list of a lot of YouTube videos that you can import into LingQ that have manual closed captions. And on the bottom here, you can see the language. So if I were to go to, let's say, English, you can see here, there's some YouTube channels here. And this goes for the other languages as well. I will try and find the site that I mentioned has the directory, and I will post that into LingQ if I can find it today. So and if I find that, I'll post it here. So
is it not there? I think that zerotohero.ca is that site.
Zero to Hero. I believe that's the one. I don't think it's in the.
It's not in YouTube, right? It's just a site. It's in this. What I just saw the list, the link in that in previous screen you were showing.
Oh, okay. It would be here, I guess. It's called Zero to Hero. Yep, and it should be in this sheet. I just don't know exactly.
Anyway, we'll put it in the description or on the forum or somewhere, but it's zerotohero.ca. I'll put that in the chat.
Okay, great, thanks. And then, as I mentioned a few seconds ago, this is the YouTube channel. So I just imported this into LingQ, and let me just quickly refresh. Okay, so why would I do this? What's the benefit of doing this? So for one, I can actually now read and look up the words. So now it's become a reader in the sense that I can look up words, phrases, and save them and grow my vocabulary. If I'm just going to do this on YouTube, I can't. It's just too limited. I can't do anything with this. With LingQ, I have now created a lesson, and I can just view it like this, paragraph mode or sentence mode. There's also an added benefit. So when I'm in sentence mode and I click this speaker icon here, this audio is timestamped. So wherever the video and this text matches, you'll hear the corresponding audio. So it's super helpful to check what you're reading and to listen to the same sentence that's naturally spoken from the video. It's just a very helpful tool, and I recommend everyone checking it out. YouTube importing on Link. Once again, you need the import extension. So that's what I've been doing for pretty much my entire time studying Japanese, and I'm just going to quickly go back to my lessons. And as you can see, if I scroll down here, I got tons of stuff. I got podcast scripts, once again, YouTube videos, and I can keep going to the next page. You'll notice that my content, most of it now, because I'm at a stage where I can kind of read a bit past beginner material. So this is content that's imported from the web. And as I mentioned, Link's import feature is the feature that I think makes Link really stand out. And all the content I've been consuming now is from the web that's been imported into Link. So yeah, I really recommend checking that out. It's super helpful. And that's what I wanted to show you for the content that I've been using. And I'm going to quickly show you one more thing. Tutors. So I've been speaking to a lot of Japanese tutors. It's quite straightforward. You just click the tutor section, you click book, and you can make a reservation. Now, what Link does really well is after you're done speaking to a tutor, the tutor has to write you a report based on what you talked about. So in this case, I'm going to go to my activities, and this is where I receive my reports. And okay, let me just show you an example here. Here's a report I received from a tutor. I review report, and there we are. And then I can just import this into Link. This tutor also added audio, which is him actually reading this entire report, which is awesome. So I just click import. And now I have the report in my Link lesson feed. And I can just go through it like I would any other lesson. So it's super helpful.
And you get that audio, you can add that audio to your playlist. That's to get a tutor who records the audio of his comments, that's really helpful, and it's something to ask other tutors to do if you are having a tutor session, because it's not difficult for people to do it, and it's very helpful.
Yeah, exactly. One other benefit of Link now, that I think that's really, really helpful is just the fact that you can organize all your content into one place. So imagine if I had all these Japanese tabs open and I had to constantly, for example, if I went back to this page, I had to go through all tabs and just go back and forth between websites and just try and figure out where my last article that I was reading. My Link account literally has thousands of articles that I've imported stored for me. So it's just an added benefit of organization, which in the end, it saves you time, it saves me time. I've saved countless hours, and I just keep adding to my courses that way. And I just want to quickly show you here. I don't have it connected, but
it's 10:30.
Is my screen okay? Everyone can see my screen? Maybe not. Anyway. I don't know if I can show it, but if you can see this here, this is just what it would look like on mobile. So I can take my lessons on the go. Once again, I can listen to the audio. I can read the lessons just as I would on my desktop. And one last thing I guess I should mention, Mark mentioned the playlist. So for those who have, smartphones these days all have music. You can create your own playlist. I've created playlists myself. For example, let's say I wanted to add this lesson to a playlist, and this lesson already has audio, so it can be added to a playlist. I just click this button here, and it's added to my playlist. I'm just gonna click this. And this is accessible on your phone as well, which is actually, I think, extremely helpful, because on my phone, I can just press play and it will go through the entire playlist and all the audio. So think of it as like a music library, except it's just content in your target language. And you can see here, I got music, I got lessons. Great way to immerse myself into in Japanese without having
And I
to.
see your conversation report there. Obviously, or multiple. I mean, the one thing to point out is that as you complete lessons on Link, they're automatically added to your playlist, and so your playlist does get bigger and bigger. And for the most part, that's good. You're just getting a variety of content, constantly sort of refreshing your recollection of the different lessons that you've studied. And then at a certain point, you'll find that you no longer want certain lessons in your playlist. So you'll have to go into the playlist and click edit and start removing lessons. But I tend to keep, I mean, I've got, I don't know, well over 100 lessons going in my playlist. And it's just good audio content that you're familiar with, and you're just trying to, you hear the more stuff in a way, the better, because you hear stuff less frequently, and it just reminds you of the words that you've been trying to learn, and it's just that exposure. It's all good. A variety of sources, new stuff, old stuff. It's a very powerful feature, and as Eric says, it's synced across all devices. So you can add stuff manually like he showed, or it is added automatically when you complete a lesson.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have somebody, Eric, by the way, I have someone asking how to show the YouTube video on top of the sentences.
Sure. So go back here. If you want to show the YouTube video on top of a sentence, you have to make it in sentence mode. So this is on my desktop once again. This is sentence mode, this horizontal line here, and this is paragraph mode. So if I do paragraph mode, it won't appear. But if I click on sentence mode, it will appear on the top. And the benefit of sentence mode is I get this speaker icon, which I can click and it will read in conjunction with the audio here. So super helpful. I prefer reading everything in sentence mode, especially YouTube videos and content with audio. I can play the entire audio up here, or I can play the video here. But this is for me, the main feature, which is the speaker icon reading the sentence that I see. And then I just go to the next sentence and I continue. And that's pretty much what I've been doing for the last, who knows, year and a half, and which has helped me go through and learn Japanese.
And that translate sentence feature as well. Obviously, you get a translation for the sentence, which you won't otherwise get in the main paged mode. You can't translate a sentence. So a lot of the time, users will try to select a sentence, but we have a limit on the number of words you can select. So here you get a translation of the sentence. Then you can focus on creating links for the words and short phrases, which is really what we want you to create links for. We don't really want you creating links for full sentences, because we want you to link and learn components that you can reuse as opposed to memorizing sentences, which we don't recommend. But getting a translation for the sentence can very often help understand better and understand and create your meanings for the links that you're creating better. So a lot of powerful features there in sentence mode for sure.
Yep, and just going back to the blue words, of course, this is in English, so I don't need to link it. I can actually just scroll to the bottom here, and it might be a little tough to see, but you can ignore a word. I do this for all English words, because if I were to link this, it would add to my total number of known words in Japanese. So I just click ignore word, and I'll do it for that too. And I'll just move on.
And worth mentioning that hitting X on your keyboard also ignores words. So it is worth learning. And you see on the bottom right of Eric's screen, keyboard shortcuts. It's worth learning some of those keyboard shortcuts, which can really help speed up, if you're on the web, your usage. So X to ignore is often handier than clicking on that ignore button. And there are lots of handy keyboard shortcuts there you can try.
Yep, and I just showed you YouTube and Also, I showed you a website that I imported, which was this one. You can do this for Netflix. You can do this for, there are various websites online that have video and audio content that you can throw into Link as well. So you're not limited to just YouTube and blogs. You can use Netflix, you can use various websites online. And I showed you this page before. I highly recommend everyone going through this. Make sure you find your language, because there is a lot of good content that you can import into Link from these websites that also include audio as well. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you about my how I use Link and my overall Link lessons here. And as you can see here in my stats, just to show everyone my stats, last week I had 7,000 words of reading, 1 hour of speaking, and I can just, you can see your stats as well. You can also see it on your phone if you swipe to the left as well. So there's a lot of good features to see your progress.
A couple questions here. We have someone asking if we can replace Google Translate with the DeepL engine, which is more accurate. And DeepL does seem very good. We've added it as a, or it is there as a dictionary resource. So you can certainly find it there. So you can look up words and phrases using DeepL. And that may be something we offer going forward, is a DeepL translation instead of a Google translation in sentence view. So that question was from Mariano. Jaden Lee asking, is it possible to do auto paging as the audio goes through it? That's something we're working on in our new version, so that we hope we will have a way to not necessarily auto page, but we'll have a view where the text will follow the audio. So that's coming, hopefully. Well, before the end of the year, we'll see, but there's quite a few neat updates coming in our before the end of the year, and that's definitely one of the things we're trying to do. At least whenever we have timestamps, we can sync the text and audio together.
Yeah, and I just wanted to show, like, this is what it looks like on mobile. It's super clean, super organized, and just so everyone knows, you can check out the Link mobile app as well. Highly recommend it. We
can't see your mobile screen, Eric.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay.
I don't think I can show it. Okay.
Okay. I'm trying to see if there are any. How do you import podcasts and Netflix? I think that's. Did you show Netflix, Eric, or you don't have? Netflix?
I don't have an account. However, you can find how to import Netflix if you just click.
You know, fundamentally, it's the same. You go to Netflix, you open your episode of the show you want to study, and use the extension to import it. So there's no real difference between importing on Netflix and importing from YouTube. Just start visiting sites using the import extension, and you'll see that stuff.
The one benefit, the one difference with YouTube is you get the audio. With Netflix, you won't get the audio.
Right. Someone is asking about the challenge section in the app being broken. Is that, I don't know which app that's in. Doesn't show your points. Yusuf, if you can clarify if that's the Android or iOS app, that would be helpful.
Yeah, this is the Android app.
Okay.
So if you go to the challenge section, it doesn't show your rank and your points, or either it's not synced with the website. Something is wrong with it.
Okay. Eric, maybe you can make a note of that and check that when we get
I'll make a note
here. Thanks for reporting that, Yusuf. Anything you see broken or not working in any view, please let us know, like this. Even email us at support or mention it on the forum, just because we're not always aware of these things.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to show for my Japanese, and yeah, overall it's been great. I mean, I couldn't imagine doing this without Link, just for the fact that I have everything here organized, and it's just easy for me to access now, especially when it's linked to my mobile device. And especially now that I have my tutors here and I get reports, so that's always great. I'm gonna unshare my screen now. All right. Hopefully that made sense for everyone. There's also on the YouTube channel, the LingQ YouTube channel, I make a bunch of tutorials showing how you can do what I just mentioned and a lot more. And just to put everything in a nutshell, beginners, check out the guided courses on LingQ. Once you're comfortable with that, start importing content you like into LingQ and you're on your way. Those are the two, in my opinion, the two main steps that I've used.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Eric, for sharing that. Bobby Lewis is asking, how come online I have to log in now every time I open LingQ? That shouldn't happen. I don't know if you've got some kind of cookie removal tool or something, but you should be still logged in. So I think if that's happening, it's on your end and not on our end. Okay.
All right. Okay, so let me just quickly open my notes here.
Better dictionary for Korean. If you find a better one, let us know. We can only show the dictionaries that we're aware of, and there aren't as many Korean resources as there are in a lot of other languages. Naver seems to dominate, and then there's one other Korean one I can't remember off the top of my head, but if you find a better one, let us know and we'll try and integrate it. But for now, you're kind of limited to the resources that we're able to find. Okay.
Okay. Now what I want to do is, just like the last meeting, we did something called Breakout Rooms. And in these rooms, we'll put about 5 to 6 people in each room. And this is where you can share your language learning tips, what you've used, how you've used LingQ, things like that. It's just a good way to get a bit more of a community feel. Everyone here knows about LingQ, and we just would be happy to hear your thoughts and for you guys to interact with one another. So turn your videos on, put your speakers on. We'll do this for the next 15 to 20 minutes. And then after the breakout room is finished, we'll conclude the meeting. And yeah, so I'm going to start putting people in a breakout room. I will see everyone in, let's say, 15 minutes. So let's see here. Oh, maybe Mark, since you're the host, do you have a breakout room tab on you? Because mine.
Okay.
If you're able to do that. All right. Oh, okay. Great, great, great. We have more people here. Jaden PA, did I say that right? And
it's yes, it's Pete.
Pete. Okay, great. Apologies. There's a coffee going on in the background.
No problem. No problem.
And Eunice? Sorry, I'm not the greatest with. Oh, I was right. Okay, great. And Jaden. Okay, great, guys. It's good to meet everyone. I guess we could do an introduction. I'll start in case you missed the beginning of the meeting. So my name's Eric. I moved and lived in Japan for a couple years, and I returned to Canada and started learning Japanese when I joined LingQ. And I've been with the LingQ team for about 2 years now. What's my Japanese level? I would say it's always hard to answer that question, but I call it like bar level, so I can speak at a bar and speak with my friends. My reading and my listening is definitely better because that's what I do more of. Speaking, that's my main goal, but because I'm in Canada, it's a little bit more difficult to find Japanese speakers. However, just being able to read Japanese is a great feeling now because it's something I never was able to do. And I use LingQ for like maybe an hour and a half a day, but just going through the same content. And yeah, hopefully I get to a level where I'm comfortable and can communicate without a problem. Nope. All good.
So Eunice, I suggest you move on, because ladies first, I would say, after the introduction of Eric as our host.
Okay. Well, I'm Eunice. I'm from the United States. I'm learning Korean. I've been learning it for definitely more than 5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was my minor in college. But I don't know, since like moving and stuff, I haven't been speaking it that much. So I feel like I forgot a lot. So I've been kind of using this time period to get back into it and finally get from intermediate to advanced. Like I've been at intermediate forever. So my goal is to eventually just, you know, be able to like, I do like translating and stuff. So to be able to get to that point would be awesome.
Awesome. Great.
So,
All right, so
Jaden.
I'll introduce myself. So my name is Jaden, and I live in New York, and I've been learning Spanish in school for about 2 years right now, and I could kind of speak, but not really that well. I have a decent amount of vocabulary, but I just can't really piece it together. I can't really form sentences that well. And right now I'm also doing a bit of French alongside with it and using LingQ.
Awesome.
Okay, so finally, let me introduce myself. I'm the only European. I have the impression. I live in Belgium, nearby Brussels. You might know a bit Belgium and Europe. I'm on LingQ.
Yep.
Is the
But you know what
is the
people call it?
pronunciation? Yeah.
Link is the name, but you know there are people that call it LingQ and all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah.
it's whatever you want it to be.
Okay, I'm on LingQ only since 2 months, 2 or 3 months. I just discovered it. I'm studying Italian for 3 years
Oh, nice.
in a classical way, so with evening classes. I discovered LingQ 2-3 months ago, and so for me it's complementary to my classical courses. What I use most of it is I try to find some interesting documentaries on YouTube, because there the topic is already appealing to me, so I'm already attracted to the topic, and then I import it, and so I can follow the documentary in Italian and learn more faster Italian words than my experience out of a classical course. However, I still see it as complementary.
Well, that's great. You're importing content from YouTube.
Yeah, from in the beginning, I appreciated that function, because indeed, as you said in the beginning, it's all about motivation and repetition. So I'm very motivated by some interesting topics. For instance, a couple of weeks ago, Ennio Morricone, it was world news. He died. He's a famous director of music. And so, for instance, I searched a documentary on the life of Ennio Morricone in Italian. And so I learn Italian along way, you know, my interest on the topic itself. And so that is, for me, a nice way to use LinkedIn and have a combination of being fed with, you know, interesting content, motivating content, but also learning that new language in that way. What I liked a lot, Eric, today is I discovered the resource list that you showed. That was new to me.
Awesome,
I
yeah,
didn't know that.
great.
And also, in the meantime, I checked already the Zero to Hero website is also very interesting. That was also very new to me.
One thing I would like to mention too is it's not ideal that we have the resource list separated from LingQ itself. We are updating LingQ, and there's going to be a big update to LingQ. It's going to be like LingQ 5.0. What we want, our goal is to have it so the library, when you open the library, you're going to have way more resources that are from all kinds of sites, and it'll have it. What we're going to try and do is make it look like Netflix. But you know how Netflix has like horror, comedy, whatever, drama? It would have So you open a link library, and let's say you're learning Japanese, it would have anime, it would have J-pop, YouTube. It would just look so much cleaner, and you wouldn't need a resource list. You would just use that. So that's
and when is version 5 expected?
It was planned for this summer, but we're a little behind. So it should be soon though. We're working on it. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I already drop a question in the group? So
yeah.
So for instance, Eunice, I understood you're learning Korean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So imagine that Eunice would be interested in trying to find people on link that also are studying Korean. The same way as I am very interested to get in touch with other people, members of Link studying Italian. Is there a good way to reach out to Link members studying the same language?
Right now, you can do that. It's something I totally agree. It's something we will we've talked about and we're gonna make better, because we all believe that when you find someone studying the same language as you can use what they're using. You can share ideas. It's really great.
Yep.
Apologies, the coffee is going off. But let me just double check here. So.
I totally agree with that too, because I feel like it takes like a special kind of person to be using Link. People have different approaches to language learning, and not everyone likes that sort of like content based, going through it the way that Link is. So it's cool to kind of find people who are like-minded, who are putting in that amount of time into studying. Yep.
And let me just go here. So let me just double check here.
I guess, Eric, in the meantime, a question. You have 5 chapters because you're part of the administration staff?
5 chapters?
Yeah, on top of your page, you have.
Oh yeah, exactly. Admin and
groups and admin. We only have 3.
Yeah, you just have to disregard those.
Yeah.
One way you can find people on Link, you go into the forum. Yeah. And you can click all forums, and you'll find the forum in your target language.
Okay.
Yep. So you'll find, if I just go down here, Control F, Japanese. Okay, here we go. So here's an open forum in Japanese. Another way too you can find people in your target language is check out the ranking. And let's see here. I believe this is, apologies, because I haven't done this for a while. Or you can check the challenges. Like I'm in the Japanese challenge, for example. I joined a challenge. You can view the challenge and you can see the users who are in the challenge, and you can click on the user and you can write on their wall. They might have, this user doesn't have much information, but you can,
I didn't know we had a wall, to be honest.
It's one of those things, like I always say, Link has a lot of great features that are exactly what I think a language learning platform should be. It's just right now we, because we have a lot, we haven't been able to show it as much as we'd like. That's why we're redesigning and making it a lot easier. The main goal that I have for Link, that I want to see in Link 5.0, content discovery. So that Excel sheet, basically this thing in Link, and a better way to interact with the community. So you can look at a profile and see what people are studying and interact. But for now you have a wall. So the forum is a great place to find people in your target language. And the challenges.
Thank you.
Speaking of the challenges, actually, like I am still a little lost as to how that works. Like, okay, so I know that the biggest thing I saw is like, okay, you need to have a certain amount of links that you make in a day or something like that.
I'll show you quickly. Let me share my screen again.
Because I joined the 90-day one, I think the hardcore one, but like I'm kind of just going through it. Don't really know what I'm doing.
It's all good.
Yeah, I have the same. And so I switched it off, to be honest, because I do not want to feel, that extra pressure.
No worries. I'll show you quickly how a challenge works. So here are my active challenges. I got the hardcore Japanese. I got 90-day Japanese. You can join any challenge you want, pretty much. And they all restart every month. Like there's another, but I joined the 90 days, so I'm just going to leave it for 90 days. And you're ranked by what are called coins. You can see here, I got 2,000 coins in this challenge. Well, my coins, I joined these the same day, so I got the coins here. And I just click this. I click the challenge, and I'm just gonna move my screen here. So now I can see the rankings. I'm number 9. So I'm 19,000 points behind the leader. And you can see this guy's just killing it. So what are coins? Essentially coins, you get coins from a variety of activities. When you listen, when you speak to a tutor, when you create links. So let me just quickly show you here. I had a great definition pulled up though, but so when I create a link, this is I don't want to do that. Why is this in English? Okay, one sec here. Okay, so if I see a blue word and I link it, I've got coins. You get coins for linking words and turning them into known. You can see that little coin pop up at the screen. Now, every word is different. The more common a word is, the more coins you get. I don't know the exact number, but that's how the system works. So you get coins based on your activity, which is mainly linking, and the more common the word is, the more coins you get. Essentially, to win a challenge, to be the best in the challenge, you want the most coins. To get the most coins, you want to make the most links. That's the bare bones of it, but there's other ways to make links, get coins as well. But overall, it's just the activity that you do on links. And you can see here, before I forget. Okay, so here's the word. Let me here. There you go. So this is English and Japanese, a very common word in Japanese, as you'd expect. It's worth 4 coins. While if I do something like, here we go, this is cardboard, and it's only worth 1 coin, because it's a less common word, according to Link. And how we determine what's more common and what's less common is, I believe it's based on the content that you've imported in your lessons, and it just tracks all those words and measures them up. Yeah. So it's a kind of an interesting system, but ideally how I think of it is the more links I create, the more coins I get. And once again, you can always click on the challenge and see your rankings and see how you compare to the rest of the challengers.
Got it.
I have
Thank
a
you.
question. So
Yeah,
why
sure.
do you treat conjugated words as different?
Can you say that again, Jaden? I didn't hear
Why
that.
do you treat words are conjugated different from each other?
Why are they conjugated different? Or you mean like you mean based on? Are you talking
Why do you
about?
treat it as like new words?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay, so a new word in Link is blue. That's a brand new word. So let me just open here. I'm going to open a TV show that, for me, dramas are quite difficult. By the way, Eunice, just so you know, there's a website called viki.com, V-I-K-I. If you can find, sometimes you can find Korean dramas with subtitles in Korean, and you can import all that into Link. So I did that with a Japanese drama.
Got it.
So you can just see I created a course here, and it's called Coffee and Vanilla. Link took the text and it pulled the audio too, so it's awesome. I can go through. If I click this speaker icon, it plays the audio from the drama. So it's just a super great way to go through content.
Thanks
Anyways,
so much for that.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so Jaden, you asked blue words. So here are blue words. This just indicates to me, this is a word I've never seen. Okay, that breakout room's ending in 2 minutes, by the way. I've never seen in Link. So I've never seen these words before. Depending on my settings, I can just go to the next page, but what we want you to do is right when you see a word, just link it. Even if you don't know it, just make it into a yellow word. So, because you don't want to leave a word completely unknown. I know some people have their ways of doing things, but really, if I just see negligence, which I've never seen before, I'll just link it, and I'll do it for this one too, and then I'll just move on. And then once I understand the word, after I see it hundreds of times, I can just turn it to a known word. I have this little 1, 2, 3, 4, which basically means it's just a way of, it's an SRS system we have in Link, which you can use. But I usually just use this to indicate how well I know a word. If I know it okay, I'll just make it a 2, a 3, and you can see it gets lighter and lighter and lighter. But to make things easier, I just either go yellow or no.
No, I already understand all this, but I mean, why do you guys treat conjugated words different from?
Sorry, I understand what you mean. You know what? That's a good question. I personally don't know the reason. I would assume just because in the system, because they're written differently, it doesn't pick up that the fact that they're actually the same word, but ones are just conjugated. That's something I could talk to Mark about, but right now, as it stands, it's just because the system treats words that are spelled differently as a different word.
But the problem with that is like it gives you like a false confidence of how many words that you know. So it just brings your.
Oh yeah, that's true. I can. I'm gonna make a note of that and in my Slack here. Let me just stop my screen.
I'll say one thing too, though. In certain languages, that's kind of important. Just because, like for example, like in Korean, like if you see that word, it's the root verb is the same, but it's conjugated differently because of like the articles that they add to them. It really does look like a completely different word, and you wouldn't use it in like, you know, certain situations. So I don't know, maybe that's why.
I mean, I agree, because in Japanese they look completely different and there's a million conjugations, I feel. But yeah. Jaden, as you said, I've written it down, so I'm gonna I'll ask Mark about it too, for sure. We have 50 seconds. Go ahead, anyone.
Eric, maybe a question that you might not be able to respond in 30 seconds, but do you have hints and tips how to manage the vocabulary? So sometimes I go to the vocabulary and I want to challenge myself, but I'm quite new and do not know the best way, the best practice to manage the vocabulary.
For me, I mean, yeah. I can't really answer that question because I don't use the SRS too much. I just read. And I just go through as much as I can. So that's just,
okay.
Unfortunately,
so you don't use that function. Okay.
Not so much. No.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Awesome. Nice meeting everyone. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
You know, I know that you can't do an advanced lesson unless you've done a previous lesson to get the base.
Yeah, you know, that's a good question, and I welcome back everybody from the breakout rooms. Insofar as ordering, you know, should I study this if I haven't done that? We're not big believers in that, and that's something that you kind of have to get used to on our platform. A lot of people come on and where's lesson 1, and they don't want to do lesson 2 until they've done lesson 1. And fundamentally, it's all language, it's all input, it's all good. If it's too hard, stop doing it, find something easier. If it's too easy, stop doing it, find something more challenging. It's good to have a mix. It's good to do stuff that is easy because it helps improve your fluency, stuff that where maybe you know the words, but it's reinforcing those words, and B, natural phrasing, grammar, all of those things. So for that reason, keeping easier lessons around on your playlist or wherever and reviewing them from time to time is a good thing, but moving on and finding more difficult stuff to drive your vocabulary growth where there are a lot of unknown words is also very important. And the brain needs novelty to stay interested. You need to push your level. Like there's a tendency for people to stay in easy stuff for too long and your level doesn't progress. Don't be afraid, challenge yourself. That looks really interesting. I'm going to give it a try. I may move through it very slowly. That's fine. As long as you're interested in the material, that's fine. It's not hurting you. Or you started and it's just too frustrating because there are too many words I don't know and it's taking too much time. Okay, leave it, come back to it later. And it's good for the brain, very your input. And certainly don't worry about needing to do stuff in order. That's not how you learned your native language. True. You just were thrown in and your brain will sort it out.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Well, great. I guess hopefully the breakout rooms went well for everybody. I think we'll wrap it up. We've been here for a long time. Sorry about the technical issues. Shelby in Portland says their whole city is having electrical issues. But thanks very much for joining us. Thanks, Eric, for sharing what you do. And hopefully we'll see you guys again at a future session. And obviously around Link on the community. Thanks again.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.